Hey guys, Jack here, bringing you my review video of the Aftermath DLC for Battlefield 3. Aftermath is the 4th expansion to come out of the DICE offices and follows in the footsteps of the excellent Armored Kill DLC. With Aftermath you get 4 new maps to run around on, new assignments, new dog tags, a new game mode called Scavenger, 3 new vehicles to play with, new character models and the all-important crossbow. The cool kids like to call it the Expo. If you're in a bit of a rush and you can't stick around for the rest of the video, then let me just come out there and say it. Aftermath is definitely worth your time and money. If you haven't got premium and you like to pick and choose your expansion packs, Aftermath stands alongside Back to Karkand and for me ranks as the best BF3 DLC to date. DICE have really hit a home run with the map design in Aftermath, and to me map design is of course the most important thing in a competitive multiplayer FPS. You can have all the awesome graphics and gun mechanics you like, but if you have poor map design it all goes to waste. I'm happy to say all 4 of the new maps are planned out well, and there are a variety of ways to play whatever class you feel like in however manner you choose to. There's plenty of sniping positions, tight corridors for frantic assault and bipod play, and rings around each level for vehicle warfare. You can even take to the sky on a couple of the maps and duke it out with some scout helicopters. Playing Conquest in particular on these new maps is a treat, especially if you're running with a squad on voice comms. Up until now I would rarely play Conquest, I'm much more of a rush guy, but these new levels offer some great tactical gameplay. Each flag has 3 or 4 angles of exposure, so there's enough cover with a full squad, but at the same time if you mess up you're going to lose that flag. On all of the Aftermath maps in a way there are 2 types of battles going on. On the outside flags you've got like a circular battle involving vehicles and a slower, more methodical gameplay style. On the inside of the maps you've got lots of tight corridors and rat runs, and this leads to some pretty intense back and forward fighting. But when you finally get hold of a couple of flags in the middle of a level, the feeling of satisfaction is great. You feel like all your hard work's paid off. There really is an option for every player here, and DICE have done an excellent job of catering to all the classes. As usual, the art design of the levels is fantastic. Aftermath has some of the most visually appealing maps in Battlefield 3, and if you're playing on ultra graphics on PC, prepare to have your mind blown. I do feel, however, that a couple of the levels are a bit too yellow. This is a minor gripe and something that doesn't affect gameplay much, if at all. It's obvious they've gone for a sun-baked harsh feel, but I think on Markaz Monolith in particular they could have toned back the sunny delight a little bit. Like I said though, this isn't going to affect gameplay, and I would rather take good level design than artistic flair. Look at Close Quarters for example, some of the most graphically appealing multiplayer maps in any video game ever, but I don't think they were designed as well as they could have been. Far too many angles of exposure at the choke points and the flags. You were always being shot in the back. But with Aftermath, you get the excellent visuals and excellent map design. Everyone's a winner. One thing I thought could have been added to the levels though was a dynamic earthquake event. Let me explain to you what I mean by this. So as it stands in Aftermath, occasionally a little earthquake will occur. It's a cool effect, your screen shakes and rubble falls off the buildings that can potentially kill you if you happen to be in the wrong place at the right time. It's a quirky addition that isn't overused in any way. However, what I was expecting was something more. I was expecting a big earthquake event that would change the design of the level. So you'd be playing in a match, halfway through a massive earthquake goes on, entire buildings fall down and the whole dynamic and layout of the map changes. Now that sort of thing would be cool, and it's something that the DICE designers have talked about in the past. I'd love to see that in future Battlefield games. However, it would be incredibly hard for the level designers to work out exactly what would change, and would essentially double their workload. So a neat idea for now maybe, and perhaps something that we might get in future Battlefield games. So what's this scavenger game mode all about then? I'm sure many people will just jump into a scavenger game as the first thing they do when they get their hands on Aftermath to test the water and see how it is. Well, an easy way to describe it is Conquest Team Deathmatch with random weapon spawns jotted around the level. The flags cap really quick and it has a very hectic ring around a rosy feel. When you manage to pick up a weapon, you'll find it doesn't have much ammunition in it either, so you'll need to make sure you know where the next weapon is coming from, or alternatively, you can find one of the ammo crates dotted around the levels. I've had some fun matches on this game mode so far, and it's really nice to see such an assortment of weapons being used in game. Instead of the usual M416, M16A3 cluster bomb, you find weapons such as the MTAR, the ACWR, and even the M249, with some interesting attachment choices too. However, I did find that I was having a lot of success just using the 44 Magnum instead of picking up other weapons, so please remember that if you play Scavenger, you can pick your pistol before you spawn in, and myself, I would personally recommend the M90 and 11 or the 44 Magnum as the sidearm of choice. Scavenger mode serves as an interesting game mode that promotes variable weapon use and teamwork. If you want to win those 3 matches to unlock the crossbow, I would advise sticking in a big group and wolf packing around the levels, because more often than not on these maps you turn a corner and you're faced with an entire squad or 2 of players capping a flag. Overall, Scavenger mode is a good addition to Battlefield 3. It really separates the men from the boys, as you can't just spawn in with your comfort zone weapon. It forces you to work as a team, spawn on squad mates, and to move around the map capping flags and looking for your next pickup. It's also a good place to learn how to use other weapons that you may not have considered in the past. Seeing as I mentioned it earlier, what about that crossbow? Is it overpowered? Is it underpowered? When are we going to see the first 360 no-scope quadruple headshot kill on an upside down tank? These are the important questions that need to be answered. The sort of thing that troubles the mind of a Battlefield 3 player. Well, it's definitely not overpowered. On infantry, it isn't always a one-shot kill depending on the rage, and it has a boatload of drop on it. So it actually takes some skill to use this thing. You can't just run around hit scanning people. Also, it takes bloody ages to reload a bolt, so if you miss your first shot and get rushed before you switch to your primary or secondary weapon, you're going to get killed by a good player. The explosive bolts do significant damage to scout helicopters and light transport vehicles, but at the same time, you're not going to be taking out tanks with ease. So, does that mean it's underpowered? Well, no, not at all. If you know how to use this thing, it can be extremely deadly. The standard bolt is a one-shot kill anywhere but the legs, providing the enemy is less than 20 meters away, and you can nail people with headshots that are far away by using the balance bolt. So what has the Expo got going for it? Well, primarily it's fucking cool and a lot of fun to use. It's incredibly satisfying to bang someone in the face with this thing and watch them ragdoll backwards. The sound it makes is fantastic, the way it looks is brilliant. It's also a stealthy weapon because it's so quiet, and you also don't appear on the minimap when you're shooting it. Ultimately, the crossbow is for showing off. It's for nailing 3 people in a row, it's for blowing up a jet with an explosive shot. That's what it's for. It won't be used as a serious competitive weapon because of all its drawbacks, and also because it replaces important equipment like medkits and rocket launchers. But DICE never intended it to be taken seriously. Battlefield is all about fun, and the crossbow just adds to that. In conclusion, Aftermath really is a very good package that I would recommend to anyone. If you've stopped playing BF3, come back again and give it another shot. Personally for me, it's breathed new life into Battlefield 3. I've become addicted once more to scrambling around levels with a squad, ducking in and out of cover and blowing helicopters out of the sky. This is the sort of multiplayer experience that you can only get in a Battlefield game, and it's obvious that DICE have paid extra attention in Aftermath to the level design and balance. Once again, I stress these are the most important things. I think Close Quarters was an okay expansion, marred by some questionable level design. Armored Kill was good, but you needed to be playing with a large group to get the most out of it, and I think Aftermath is excellent. It's a great balance between infantry and vehicle combat, and I absolutely love the infantry combat on Battlefield 3. For me, it's the best BF3 DLC to date. It's even better than Back to Karkand, and I've only played it for about 8 hours, so I've barely scratched the surface. Everything from the look of the new characters, the graphics, the collateral crossbow kills, there's no bullshit vehicles or perks. It's just a fantastic package, and I'm certain most of my Christmas holiday gaming time will be taken up by Aftermath. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope this helped you in your decision to pick this up or not. Leave me a rating if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.